Hi, if you're watching the replay, welcome. I'm going to see if there are some people who wants to hop on live to join me for this training, free training about manifesting soul-aligned love, and we're also going to talk about the twin flame journey. If you are watching this on my YouTube channel afterwards, welcome. If you want to learn more about manifesting, I have a really powerful free online training, the Ultimate Manifesting Program. So you can apply that to either money or business, clients, love, so you can, I will share the link at the bottom of the video, underneath the video, so you can just download that. So I really wanted to do this training because I see there are a lot of people experiencing some kind of how do you call it? They feel the call to start manifesting soul-aligned love, so and I want to talk about that because I think there are a lot of misunderstandings about manifesting soul-aligned love, and I see this happening a lot, especially with the subject of twin flames. And I don't know if anyone who's watching thinks he or she is a twin flame, or you resonate with the term twin flames, or you are just watching this video because you feel you want to manifest soul-aligned love, or you are not really super happy in your existing relationship. So it doesn't really matter why you are here or why you are watching this video. For me, it's basically all the same, and I'm going to explain a little bit more about that later on. But if you are watching this because you want to manifest soul-aligned love, or you are a twin flame and you have questions or you have difficulties in your twin flame journey, then please ask questions. I have some content to deliver and I have a bunch of questions, so I don't really know if we are going to be able to handle, or I'm going to be able to answer all of these questions this evening, but that doesn't really matter, because if I'm not able to answer all these questions, I can just plan in a second call about this. But I really would like this to also be interactive, in the sense that if you have questions about your own journey, then please ask them. I know how hard the manifestation journey can be to manifest soul-aligned love. So please, don't struggle with whatever you are going through alone. Reach out, ask questions, and surround yourself with people who are either going through the same thing or know what they are talking about. So what I see a lot is that a lot of powerful creators, can't speak for everyone, but my clients are powerful creators, feel the call to manifest soul-aligned love. It's like it's time, and that's not a strange thing, because it's also the journey of ascension. The journey to manifest soul-aligned love is the journey of ascension. And I hear the twin flame label being mentioned a lot, so I do want to talk about that a little bit. If you have never heard about the term twin flames, the story is, and I'm calling it a story because as soon as you put a label onto something, it's going to be limiting you in your manifesting journey. So I really don't like labels, but it's the label that a lot of people use for a person they feel really aligned to on all different levels. So they meet someone and they feel in alignment on both a spiritual, an emotional, a physical, and an intellectual or a mental level, you know. So, and because the alignment is so, it feels like 100% aligned thing between two people. They put the term twin flames on it, and the theory is that a twin flame is either, well, the story, people use different stories, that's why everything is just a story, you know, but the story is it's either the same soul in two bodies, or it's a soul split in two bodies, you know. So the story is that you feel you aren't complete, you know, you feel there is this other half that you are kind of looking for, you know. And I can kind of resonate with that feeling of missing something or missing someone, you know. I can resonate with that if I look back through the last couple of years. But that thought, you know, now I look back on it and I made a whole journey. It is kind of limiting, you know, because and that's why the twin flame story is also kind of limiting, because what I see happening is you meet that other person, but because they are in alignment with their soul is resonates on the same frequency as your soul. That's how I choose to look at it, you know. So you can look at it at you know, soul split in two or incarnated in two bodies. That's all fine, you know. But for me, it's just you have met someone and their soul resonates at the same frequency as your soul. That can either be the exact same frequency, and then you can call it a twin flame if you want to, or you can just call it that you have met someone whose soul is 100% in alignment with your soul. And how do you know that? I'm going to talk about that a little bit later. If you are from the same soul family, so it's maybe not 100%, but you are really soul aligned, you know, then it's a soulmate. And soulmate can be, well, they can be friends, they can be family, you know, they can be all types of relationships. And twin flames, for the, as far as I know it, are always, you know, also physically attracted to one another, you know. So, and most people are looking for that kind of relationship. I was that person too, you know, and in a way I'm still that person, but I have a little bit of a different perspective on it now. So you feel that there's this other person out there, because yeah, it's kind of an inner knowing, you know. So, or it's just like I often compare it with my own soul purpose, you know, with my own soul mission to learn everything I can about how we create our reality and teach it to other people. I feel called to do that. It's not something that I picked out, you know. It's not that I sat down, I took like a career guide or something and flipped through it and thought, oh, what would be great to do with my life? Oh, let's become a law of attraction teacher, you know. No, it's something I'm being called to do. So it's the same with you know, meeting your soulmate or meeting your twin flame. You are called to meet someone, you are called to move in a certain direction, to align with a certain energy or a certain frequency. So if you meet that person, it's all amazing, you know, because you resonate 100% with that person. It's like nothing else you ever experienced in your life, you know. Yeah, it's, I can't even explain it. It's like there's nothing outside of that connection that exists or something, you know. It's yeah, I can't even put it into words. You have, for those of you who have experienced it, you know what it is, you know. But then there's also this other side, because the relationship is 100% soul aligned. That person will reflect everything back to you. So it will reflect your beauty and your qualities and your love, you know, and that feels amazing. But it's also going to reflect back to you every little block you have. And, you know, life in general does that, you know, so that's not something special. Life, you create your own reality. So whatever you reflect, whatever you project onto your reality gets projected back at you, you know. But because because you are 100% soul aligned, there is no hiding, you know. So everything is being triggered in a twin flame relationship, you know. And what I see happening a lot right now is that if twin flames meet, or if soul aligned people meet, you know, I'm really not fond of the label twin flames, but if they meet and they, you know, the beginning is most of the time really amazing, but then because of the dynamic and because there aren't that many people who are already whole, you know, they are already fulfilled on their own. They are already connected with their own soul. Because that you need to be connected to your own soul. You need to have gone through a healing process to be able to be in a soul aligned relationship, because of all the stuff that's being brought up. And also because most people, if you look at old paradigm relationship stuff, we expect other people to make us happy. If you ask most people, why do you want a relationship, is because I think it's going to make me happy, or they are looking for that person to complete them, you know. It's a beautiful story, but it's not based on reality, because no one can make you happy. Nothing from outside of yourself, not a person, not money, not a beautiful house, you know, not business success, nothing can make you happy. So if you think, okay, I desire love, and I think someone else is going to bring that to me, and there are all these expectations, that relationship sooner or later is going to collapse. You know, it just is. And because you are so aligned, that really hurts. You know, if that moment comes that the relationship collapses, that's going to bring up all your pain. It's going to trigger all your wounds, and you have to heal those wounds, you know. So most people start their twin flame journey, or their soul aligned, manifesting their soul aligned journey, to meet that person that is going to complete them, you know. But the true journey of soul aligned, manifesting soul aligned love, or the twin flame journey, is so you can become complete on your own, you know. And I'm not saying that you can't have a relationship, because of course, if you want a relationship, you can have a relationship. But the purpose of a relationship, and this is really important, the purpose of a relationship is not to complete you. The purpose of a relationship is growth. And what I see happening a lot is that if like there is a moment that people can't be together, or well, they can be together, but they their energies collide or something, that they blame the other person because they can't fulfill their expectations of making them happy, but they are doing exactly what they are meant to be doing. You know, they are helping you to become whole and complete on your own, you know. So and that's also the purpose of manifesting soul-aligned love, or the desire, or the twin flame journey, so that people can get whole on their own, you know, and from that wholeness they can create really fulfilling relationships, but not because they need the other person to make them happy, but to co-create, you know, on a different level. So, and I know more and more people are going to learn this. Now, if twin flames meet, a lot of the time they need separation because they don't know. I didn't know, you know, when I met my twin flame, I heard about the subject of twin flames, but I didn't know. I thought I healed a lot of relationship stuff, you know. I can remember I even emailed it to him in one of my emails. I said, yeah, I know who I am, I'm living my purpose, you know, I know what I want in a relationship. You are it, you know. I was so certain of myself, and when he went away, there so much old wounds rose to the surface. I was like, oh, did I really have that much old pain and insecurities and whatever, you know, around the topic of relationships? So, and we meet those people so we can heal that stuff, and from that point we can start to manifest real soul-aligned relationships, either with that person, you know, that can still happen, or with someone else. What I think is really limiting about the twin flame journey, how I see it, because I did a lot of research, you know, to understand what this journey is. And what I said at the beginning, please ask questions if you have questions around the topic of manifesting soul-aligned love, or the topic of twin flames. But what I see a lot of people do is they meet their twin flame, and then they put that label onto this person, and with the label comes the assumption, this is my one and only person. There's no one in the world who can take, well, that their place. No one can take their place, but I'm not, there's no other person for me, you know, to have a connection with, or to build a relationship with. And that's really limiting, because that's not true. You know, if you look at the twin flame journey like that, you know, that's then it becomes really hard for you to manifest a different relationship. And also it's not the function of meeting your twin flame. The function of meeting your twin flame is becoming whole. And if you are whole and you resonate with your own soul, then it really doesn't matter if you are romantically involved with them, yes or no. If you put all that pressure onto them to make you happy, you know, and I see this with a lot of twin flames, especially women, you know, because of the energy, you know, you can kind of see it like a battery, you know. The women, the feminine is the push energy, and the male is the pull energy. So she pushes her energy onto him, so he has to pull away. So that's why it's so important. And that's the same with everything. If you do this with other people or with money, or I was at the at the goat farm this afternoon. It was really cute. They had like tiny baby goats and stuff, but there was this mother and her child. He was really small, like 2 years old. He ran away and she ran after him. And the harder she ran after him, the harder the child ran away. And I did that too with my daughter, you know, when she was growing up. What we did is I would stand still. And if I know she was looking at me, I would walk the other way. She would stop running and come after me because she would be scared that I would run away. And I'm not saying that your clients or your partner or whatever is going to think, oh, she's running away, so I'm going after her. That's also not, I don't know if that's really a healthy relationship dynamic. But if you align with your own soul, if you balance your energies, then there is space for someone to come into your life and just be stable and in alignment and creating with you in that same space, you know. So there is no push, there doesn't have to be a push and pull dynamic. That's really a heavy and energy, and a frustrating energy, also really frustrating way to create relationships. But that's what most people do. In most relationships, there are a lot of expectations to make the other happy. There are a lot of false thoughts about having to save the other or having to take care of the other. There are a lot of unhealthy patterns and dynamics. You know, what I see with a lot of people, for example, what I did, you know, I did it a couple of times and I couldn't even see it but I actively aligned with men who weren't available. They weren't into me, you know. So, and then I worked really hard to try to win over their love, you know. So, and that's kind of a messed up dynamic, you know. And there are a lot of people, not even only women, but people who have dynamics like that. What do you do in your relationships, you know? Can you be in alignment? Can you start aligning with the energy of having someone in your life that is a match to you, both on a spiritual, an emotional, an intellectual, and a physical level, so that's you are in alignment with that other person, and that person can just be there for you. You know, if I look at my own situation, I felt really unworthy to have a person like that in my life. You know, it was like, am I going to be able to make that other person happy? But that's the beautiful thing. You don't have to, because they are already happy on their own. You know, that you don't have to take care of them. You don't have to rescue them. You don't have to do anything. All you have to do is be yourself. And that's, for me, that's the whole reason of the twin flame journey, you know, so we can start creating relationships like that, where both parties are in alignment with their own soul and therefore with each other, so they can co-create and not, you know, rescue each other, save each other, make each other happy. Of course you are going to add to the other's happiness, but because you are already happy on your own, you know, you don't have to take care of each other. You do take care of each other, but you take care of each other because that's just something that comes from the inside. You know, it's not something you have to do because of old role patterns or something, or stuff that we once decided as a society, you know. Okay, if there are any questions, just ask them, okay? Because you guys are also being super duper quiet. I don't know if the chat is broken or if you are just listening, but let me know something, okay? Okay, so I put down a couple of questions specifically about the twin flame journey, but I want to do you know, this training, maybe a second one about the twin flame journey, and then because a lot of people see it as a twin flame thing, then I'm going to shift this into talking about soul aligned love, because that's where we are heading, you know, soul aligned love, soul aligned clients, soul aligned people in our lives to create with on different levels. So does everyone has a twin flame? Well, my intuition says no, because I think there is a point in your ascension process, and maybe you do, maybe everyone has other people who resonate on the exact same frequency as they do, but not everyone is going to meet that person. I think you're going to meet that person if you are already spiritually evolved until a certain level, because I experienced it. It's really hard, you know, to go through the healing process, especially not the relationship itself. That was really amazing, you know. That's a great example about how I want to feel in my next relationship, but then with like a couple of details changed, you know. But so yeah, maybe everyone does have people, and I don't, because they say everyone has one twin flame. That can be the case, you know, but for me that's also kind of limiting. What I have heard a couple of times, because okay, you create your own relationship. If you tell yourself I have one twin flame and that person doesn't want to be in your life, then you automatically conclude there can't be anyone like that in my life at this moment, you know. And well, that's simply not true, because you can manifest whatever you want to manifest. So if you want to manifest a relationship, you can, you know. Oh, I'm seeing all these comments, but I'm not getting those comments in my chat. So I'm going to turn it on here so I can see your questions. Okay, I'm not going to do cards today, because I'm just going to talk about this topic. My ideal woman I desire to manifest as a soulmate wife is one that is taller than me, and well, I don't know what that means, because we have meters and centimeters. I've been looking at tall woman dating sites, no luck so far. Okay, so but what you can do here, because that you want to manifest like a tall woman, or you feel attracted to tall women, because, and there's a reason for it, you know. For example, I am naturally attracted to men who are a little bit taller, and also who are a little bit, you know, have more body. Why? Because it gives me the feeling that it gives me a feeling of safety, you know. So I'm not aligning with those specific futures. I'm aligning with the energy of someone who makes me feel safe. So I would suggest you see for yourself, why do you want to attract a woman who is taller? How does that make you feel? And then align with that instead of a specific future. So that goes for everyone. Well, why is it important to let go? Oh, what's the difference between soulmates and twin flames? Well, I've kind of touched on that. if you have met someone and you are trying to figure out, is it a soulmate, a twin flame, or maybe a karmic partner, because that can also be the case. A karmic partner is someone who comes into your life. The attraction can be really intense also, but the only reason they are in your life is because they have to learn, you have to learn a lesson, you know. So they are coming in your life. It's mostly it's stormy, you know, and that's also with the twin flame thing. There's a lot of energy. That's the same with a karmic relationship. But with a karmic relationship, if you learned your lesson, then they fall out of your consciousness. With a twin flame, because they are they resonate at the same soul frequency. See, technically they can never fall out of your consciousness. The connection always stays, you know. With soulmates, there are soulmates, the energy is a little bit more calm, you know. Soulmates, for example, my husband is my soulmate, one of my soulmates. I have soulmate friends. I have soulmate clients, you know. You can also teach each other stuff, but they are also there a lot of the time to support you. The energy is most of the time calmer, you know. It's more, it's easier. Those relationships are easier. So that's how you kind of can see the difference. Okay, so Annemie says, I can't talk about this stuff, but I know you want to manifest a relationship also, you know. So that's why the labels are so confusing, you know, because then most of the time you think, what does this mean, you know? Why you are more in your head. And to manifest soul aligned love, you have to get out of your head. You have to stop thinking and start feeling, you know. One of my, I hired a twin flame coach because I really had some questions about what this all mean and how to get past this, you know. So he also said, a twin flame won't get out of your head. That's why you have to get out of your head. And that's also the journey we make, you know, as a collective. I see it with my powerful creators clients. We have there is this ascension process to align to your soul. And if you are in alignment with your soul, you aren't in your head that much. It doesn't matter, you know. It doesn't matter whether someone is your twin flame, yes or no. It's about what you desire. You want a soul aligned relationship, you know. So you have to start aligning with your own soul. You have to be in alignment with love, basically love for yourself. You know, why did I manifest that relationship with someone who wasn't willing to show up for me fully? Because I wasn't willing to show up for me fully yet. You know, now I am, and I already see the differences in my interaction with men, you know, but I also have different boundaries. I am only available for a soul-aligned relationship with a man that's in alignment on both spiritual, physical, intellectual, and emotional level. So if someone shows up in my reality, and I met a cute guy, you know, but there were like these tiny details that he said something like, it's really easy for me to manifest my business goals, but it's really hard for me to manifest my private goals or to think long term in my private life. Those, you know, are red flags. You know, for if you if you meet someone and I think that's like one mistake a lot of people make when trying to align with a relationship. People show you who they are, and they show it right from the start, you know, by saying things like that. Or they are saying, you know, it's what my twin flame said to me once was, I am so thankful that what did he say? I'm so thankful that you keep up with you stick it out with me, or something. You put up with me. That's what he said. Something like that. So I was like, what are you saying? You know, it's not even like that for me, because I really want to be with you. You know, I want to spend time with you. I love you, you know. I didn't say I love you back then, but I wanted to be with him. But when I look back, and what I know now is, when people say stuff like that, it's a red flag, because they are not choosing self-love. They are saying stuff that and they are showing you that they aren't capable of showing up, you know, in a relationship like that. So if you are starting to date someone, you know, or whatever, I don't know where you are at when starting to manifest your soul-aligned relationship, and they say stuff like that, or they let you know they are not available, or they let you know, or you feel that they are not in alignment with you, go away. You know, do that sooner than later. Of course, it would be most perfect if you do the alignment work before you start dating. You know, that's the reason why I haven't started dating, you know, until now. Now I'm sensing, I'm feeling that I can open myself up again, you know, but until now I haven't had that feeling again. I wanted to heal those wounds first. I will never step into a relationship again if there are red flags, or if someone is not fully showing up, or if it's not in alignment, because now I fully chose myself, you know, so I don't need anyone anymore to make me happy. I can create, of course, with other people, you know, that's really fun. I have my friends, I have my business partner, I still have my husband. We're not yet divorced, you know, maybe that will even take a couple of years. Also because we are soulmates. Sometimes I still think, because we have been separated for 4 months now, and he changed a lot, you know, in those 4 months. So sometimes I even think that how funny would that be if he would, you know, step into that space I'm holding for that person, you know. How funny would that be? But I'm not expecting him to change anymore. I'm not asking him to change anymore. I'm not expecting anything of him, you know, only what he can offers me, only what we agree on together, you know, what comes naturally for him and what comes naturally for me. And then we will see where it grows, you know. But and you know, I had a couple of times because we are together for 18 years, you know, so maybe you are thinking, well, Maartje, but what can you teach me about soul-aligned love? Because, well, but I have been with my soulmate for 18 years. We have an amazing daughter. We are still best friends. I think that's more than most people will ever experience in their lives, you know. So, but there's always this next step. I see the same with teaching people how to manifest money. Yeah, I make a lot of money, so I can teach people about manifesting money. There is also a next goal, you know. I want to manifest, I'm on my way to manifesting my next goal. but I'm not there yet. Does that mean that I can't teach people how to manifest money? No, because I already have manifested lots of money, you know. So, but there's always a next level. So I know how to manifest relationships. This is exactly the same. This is going to be exactly the same journey how I manifested previous relationships, or the relationship with my soulmate husband, you know. So for me, that doesn't matter. Okay. So I already touched on that. Why so many powerful creators have a desire to manifest soul love at this moment, aren't truly happy and in alignment in their current relationship, because it's really your soul saying, asking you to be whole on your own, to let go of expectations, and to we need to start looking at relationships a different way. So that's why this is happening at this moment. So what to do if you feel the call for 100% soul aligned love and you are still in a relationship? So how did my husband and I handle this? So I fought with this call for like 2 years, but it grew so strong, and I thought, if I'm not going to at least see what I can do about this, or see, you know, I'm not going to forgive myself. I need to do this for me, you know. So yeah, so when I met my twin flame, my husband and I were still together. And of course I talked about it with him. I said, well, I can't be with you anymore like that. You know, I didn't know if it was going to work out with my twin flame and I. That didn't matter, because I felt such a deep connection with him, and I thought, well, but this is what I want to experience, and I am not experiencing that with him at this moment. I know, you know, I'm also realistic. I know after 18 years there are, you know, what can you expect? But it's a feeling, you know. I will come back to that later, because it was not because of false expectations. It was about what I knew, what I know, still know, is possible in my soul, you know, because I have balanced my own energies. I'm not dependent on anybody anymore, you know. I am capable of taking care of myself on all these levels. And then there is still, you know, the desire to experience that type of connection, you know. So, and with my husband, I just have a different type of connection. So, and from where I'm standing, if you have soul aligned love, and I have soul aligned love with my husband, you can talk about that with each other. And we, you know, we both believe in the law of attraction. We both believe in soul alignment. We both believe that you can't expect stuff from someone who isn't willing to give that to you at a certain moment. We both believe that if you are in alignment with your own soul, you will either find each other or not, you know. And if that doesn't happen, that doesn't mean you have to be, you are unhappy, you know. That's not the case, because if you would believe that, what kind of relationship would you have, you know? Then you would still sacrifice yourself, or the other person would sacrifice themselves for your happiness. That's not a soul-aligned relationship, you know. That's an old paradigm relationship. So he's okay, you know, with what I'm offering him. I'm okay with what he's offering me. And if that changes in the future, we will see, you know, what journey we will take together. So, and I know this is a really different way of creating relationships. I know most people, if they are well, I see the connection that isn't that good. I'm going to turn off my Wi-Fi. Okay, one moment. I will be back. Okay, it was already off. Didn't know what happened there. Okay, the image is a little bit fuzzy, but I hope the sound is clear. Okay, so I think most people are scared to make changes in relationships because the assumption is that if you I don't even want to use terms as break up or separate or something, because we are still co-creating together, but it's on a different level, you know, it's in a different way. And what I see a lot is when people break up, what they do is they don't communicate their needs and their wants, but they have all these expectations. They place these expectations onto each other. They most of the time also know what those expectations are, so they try to meet the needs that their partner has, or you know, they aren't communicating that well at all, but it's not in alignment. Meeting those needs doesn't come naturally, and so the expectations of the other person aren't really met at all, you know. So there's a lot of mistrust for not communicating. There's a lot of disalignment. There are a lot of expectations people put on each other that aren't being fulfilled. There's as a result of that, there's a lot of unhappiness within the relationship. People can't appreciate each other anymore, and of course that's not for all people, but I see this a lot, you know. So, and that's but yeah, you are married, you know, so you have made a commitment to that other person, or there are children, you know, so you have to stay together, but you are not happy, you know. Neither one is really happy. Some people pretend they are happy, but is it really happiness? Are you really aligned? Or are you with someone because they fulfill a certain need, or you expect them to fulfill a certain need? Does the other person really want that, you know, want to be that for you? Do you want to be that for each other? And there's the tension is building up because there is a lack of communication. People don't understand each other because all they want is for their partner to understand them, but they are not actively trying to understand the other person, and the tension rises and rises and it collapses, and then people are fighting, you know. They are if they are divorcing, children become well, you know, it's not really healthy for them either, you know. So, and my husband and I, we always communicated, you know, maybe not that well in the early years, but because of our personal and spiritual development, we are communicating. We always are communicating. So, and we are not expecting the other to make each other happy. So now we can make the choices that are in alignment, both for him, for me, and for our daughter. You know, she doesn't have to suffer because we want to make different choices. For example, if Bob would start to date, that would only be a problem if I would be, well, jealous about that or something, you know. So, or the other way around, you know. But if you can, and I think that's also the unconditional love we are heading, you know. Can you give the other space? Can you not expect the other person to make you happy, but can you give them space? And that's not like taking all kinds of shit from someone, you know. You have boundaries, of course, and that's what I see with a lot of twin flames, especially women. You know, their twin flame is in a different relationship, or he is, you know, he's not ready to commit, or he has fears, and they are all like, that's trying to help him and solve it, and you know, really always giving, 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 and not thinking about themselves. That's not what I'm talking about, you know. It's you standing in your power, and your partner is standing in your power, and then you can create the best relationship. So, okay, so for me, communication with your partner, whatever relationship you have, is the most important thing. To be open and honest about who you are, to give the other person space, and stuff like that. This is not a relationship communication training, you know, but I do have a relationship training in my Dutch Geld is Liefde community, and also in my Manifest Magically Academy. So if you want to go deeper into that, well, they're not open right now, but send me a message or an email and we can see what we can do. Okay, so you know, I already wrote a blog to answer the question how to know if someone is your twin flame, you know. So because that's a thing a lot of people ask themselves, is this my twin flame? If you Google that on the internet, is this my twin flame, or signs of a twin flame relationship, you most of the time find stuff like that, yeah, they make you feel happy, or you know, it's really generic stuff. If I see lists like that, I can apply that to a lot of relationships I have had in the past, and even with my soulmates or with my soulmate husband. So of course, Google it, you know, see if that resonates, but still you think, but is this my twin flame? What I want you to do first is know for sure that it's not an unhealthy relationship dynamic. In what I see a lot of the time is that if a narcissist is in relationship with an empath, it's the same kind of dynamic, but you see you see that it's an unhealthy relationship dynamic. You know, a narcissist will put you down, will hurt you, will actively hurt you. If you are being hurt by your twin flame, I was hurt too. That was not, he didn't do that on purpose, you know. It was just, it's the relationship dynamic. Because I was pushing all my energy onto him, he had to pull back, you know. So, but with a narcissist empath relationship, it's an unhealthy relationship dynamic, you know. That person doesn't have respect for you. So, and then you really have to move away. And you have to move away anyway, you know. If your twin flame doesn't want to be with you, you have to move away anyway. You know, that's really simple, because that's what I see with a lot of, especially women, you know. Women are, this is a lot of the time a women thing, that they start asking questions about what kind of relationship this is. What was I even answering? Oh yeah, it's someone my twin flame, you know. So you have to move away anyway, but just see, you know, if it's an unhealthy relationship dynamic, yes or no, you know. So, but what I also shared in the beginning of the live stream, because you are 100% soul aligned, that person will bring up all your insecurities, all your old wounds, and that will create a really weird kind of energy. For example, I was really scared he would go away, you know. If I look back at it, I was really I was really scared that he would go away. He brought up all my fears, you know. So, and well, of course, your reality mirrors you, so he went away, you know, and that is what I see with a lot of twin flames. It's the mirror effect, you know. Twin flames mirror each other. Life mirrors you in general, but with a twin flame it's even stronger because, well, you have the same soul frequency, you know. So so that's a sign if there is kind of a like a tower moment or something, or it collapses, and that most of the time that's really weird to experience, because you don't know exactly what happened, you know. I couldn't grasp what was happening because it was the best thing I ever experienced, and then the next day it was like all gone. I never saw him again, I never heard of him again, you know. So of course I had to raise my own boundaries, you know. I see, looking back, that maybe I didn't had enough healthy boundaries, so I see that now. But back then it was like, what happened here, you know? It was so strange. So in twin flame land, that's often called like a tower moment, that it collapsed, and then most of the time the feminine thinks, what's going on here, you know, and she comes across the term twin flames. The masculine, he often doesn't know, you know, he isn't aware that there is something going on, you know. They react to each other's energy, so because she is pushing him, you know, to either commit or whatever, to, you know, to rescue her or to take care of her or complete her, you know, he has to pull away. And that's with every relationship. If you throw that onto someone, they will pull away, you know. That's what you see a lot in, you know, every relationship, that man just ghosts you, and then you are like, what happened here, you know. If I look back, you know, in with early relationship, that happened to me a lot. That man just disappeared, and I was like, what happened here? Now I know, yeah, I was pushing all my energy onto them, all my expectation onto them, you know, wanting them to, you know, complete me or save me or something. And yeah, of course, you know, it's all energy, so those men would react to that energy by leaving, you know. Now it's so logical. So yeah, that's why most twin flames can't be together at that point. So what happens then a lot of the time is there is a twin flame obsession, you know, thinking about the other person nonstop. Most of the time there's like a pain in the chakra system, really a physical pain, because of all the emotions coming up and all the physical purging. There's dark night of the soul moments, you know, because of the separation pain. Everything comes up, needs to be purged. Those are also really signs that you are in a twin flame connection, you know. How you really know it, if you start your healing process, because, you know, you can't get that if you are still in that energy of wanting someone back so bad. They never going to get there, you know. It's love attraction, it's not possible. So you have to release them, you have to set them free, you have to stop pushing your energy at them. You have to love them unconditionally, as in, if you don't want to be with me, if this is the choice you make, I'm giving you that space, you know. So to really release them. And starting to choose you, you know, starting to show up for you fully and completely on every level, you know. So start working on your mission, on your own happiness, on your own money, on taking care of you, you know, taking care of you. So, and balancing your energies. It's like the obsessive thinking, it's like it compares to an addiction. You know, you have to stop that obsessive thinking, and you can do that by getting out of your own head, starting to align with your soul. And this is something that people experience in normal relationships too. You know, the only thing that's maybe can be a little bit different is the time frame. You know, that you need a little bit more time to get over it, you know, and you can never really get over them. You know, if it's really your twin flame, you can never really get over him. But because you are in alignment with your own soul, there is no feeling of separation anymore. So you maybe still are aware of their energy, but there's no missing. There's no well, maybe there is a missing item, but in a different sense. You know, it's different. So if you have done your healing work, either they fall out of your consciousness because they are not your twin flame, and you have you raised your frequency. They didn't align on the same soul frequency anyways, and they fall out of your consciousness. Or it is your twin flame, and when you are in soul alignment, they either come back, or it was never meant to be for you to be together. But then you don't mind because there's no attachment anymore, and you meet someone else, you know. And I know a lot of people, if you are a twin flame and you are watching this and you are still in attachment, this is horrible to hear, because you only want one thing, and that's for them to come back. But if you are in attachment, they can never come back. It is simple law of attraction. So you have to get out of detachment. You have to let go of them fully, completely. Let them live their lives, you know. Start living for you. If you ever want any chance of them coming back, that's what you need to do. And if they don't come back, you are okay too, you know, because you healed yourself and you moved on. And if you start healing yourself and you start choosing you, and you start living your life and trying to detach, not thinking about them, you know, just like any normal, just handle it like any normal addiction, you know, then you will get past that point that you will need them. And maybe the connection stays, but then it's a preference. And you won't even take them back regardless, you know, but because what I've seen in a lot of twin flame relationship is because of the dynamic that there were things, you know. For example, I read a story about a twin flame couple, and he was married, and he had adult children, but his wife was really manipulative, and he also was scared he couldn't see his children anymore, you know, even though they were adults, it was still a strange thing. So every time she pulled back, he came to her. And then they stepped into the relationship again. Then his wife, you know, did some manipulative thing or something. And, well, he got scared, he stepped back again, she stepped back because she balanced her energies, he came again, and it was like this thing. And then, you know, that's not what you should choose, you know. It's okay, balance your energies, but even though he comes back, your energies have to stay balanced. Or I'm saying he, it can be the other way around, of course, too, you know. It's just because I'm a woman, you know, it's easier to speak in terms of he or she. But if you are a man watching this, it's the other way around. It's the same thing. So, you know, that's not healthy for you to keep up with, you know. For me, if my twin flame would come back, in essence, I would love that, you know, but he has to show up for me fully. It's all in or all out, you know, and somewhere inside it's really hard for me to say that, but that's still that little wound that's still inside there, that says maybe that you're afraid that you won't be loved fully or something if you have that boundary there. But my soul knows that that's the way it works, you know. So be really aware where you are available for in relationships, yes or no, you know, twin flame or no twin flame. That's the same for everyone. Okay, so what the function of the twin flame obsession is to align with your soul, because your thoughts are thinking about them. If you move past your thoughts and start living in the present, like more of a meditative state of mind, that there is no obsession anymore. There are no addictions there. So, for example, what really helps is to read The Power of Now from Eckhart Tolle, and, you know, start living the power of now. You know, then there's no obsession anymore. So, what can you do if your divine counterpart doesn't acknowledge the connection? Nothing, you know. You can't do anything. It doesn't work to send them messages and tell them about your special connection. They don't care, you know. It's like if you do that with the energy, well, if they ask for it, you can share it about it, of course, you know. But if you share it with, I did that too, you know, when he and I just separated, I came across all this twin flame stuff. I thought, oh, I have to tell him this, you know, but he was like, no, yeah, I made a decision. So I see a lot of people, if they are telling their twin flames, it's to, how do you say that? To get them to be with you, to get them to try to convince them to choose you. But your energy, you project your energy onto your reality, you know, so people react to that energy. So if that's still like convincing or coming from a place of lack or coming from a place of separation or whatever, you know, so if that's the place you are coming from, that's why I waited like a month to do this training, because I knew most of these things a month ago, but I really wanted to make sure that there was nothing inside me that was sharing this for him, you know, and there's not anymore. I'm really okay where I am, you know. I'm really moving on, so I'm 100% okay. So, and you have to come to that point too, you know, in any relationship. When any relationship is over, you have to come to that point. If relationships don't work, it's because there is something better for you, you know. And of course it can be with the same person, but then you have to align with the relationship you want to create and keep that space. Either they will step into that space or someone else steps into that space, you know, but you have to hold that space. Okay, so what does my twin flame feel and think when we are not together? That's also a question a lot of people want to hear. Do they think about me? you know, maybe not. It doesn't matter, you know, it doesn't really matter. Probably they try their hardest if you are not together to not think about you, you know, because that's it. They have made a decision to go a different route, and they really probably want to make that work, you know, so they probably try to think about you as little as possible, and that's not fun to hear, but that's the way it is. They are not meant to sweep you off your feet, you know. Your twin flame is meant to make you whole, make you a complete person on your own, so you can attract that person who aligns with you, not who completes you, not who saves you, but who aligns with you. That's their job, you know. And if they completed that job and you are in alignment with your soul, then, you know, there is like a romantic relationship possible for the two of you. Great, you know, amazing. But if not, they have done their job, and then there's someone else for you, someone just as special or even more special, you know. So if you think, because that's what I see a lot of people do, they are trying to think about their twin flame, they are trying to do like exercises or like heal them or stuff, you know. No, detach. You know, it's not healthy, because you are waiting for them, you know. Why are you waiting for them? They don't want to be with you at this moment. And I think that's a really difficult thing for a lot of twin flames to hear, especially women. And that's why I think they get stuck in the fairy tale. I also love fairy tales, you know. I love love. I love to love people. I love being loved. I love going on romantic dates, you know. I love talking for hours. I love having amazing sex, you know. I love love, you know. Don't get me wrong. But you can't experience that if you are waiting around for someone who is not available. And I think a lot of women, especially men, do this too maybe, but then most of the time the chances are big that you have a lot of feminine energy. It's hurt so bad to think that someone has rejected us that we make a whole story about why someone can't be with us. You know, of course I can also say, well, my twin flame got scared or whatever, you know. That might all be true. I don't really know. The fact is, he's not here right now. He's not in my life. He's not choosing me. He's not showing up for me. So I'm not going to wait around for that to ever change. I already have chosen me, and I'm going to align with the relationship I want to create, you know. But this is what I see it with a lot of female twin flames. So I know this is hard, but if you know, you reject people all the time. That's just the way it is, you know. I bet there have been a lot of people who want to date you, want to be with you, want to have sex with you. Also the thing with clients or with friends, you know, a lot of people who want to be in your life, maybe even with family members. There are a lot of people who you rejected in your life, you know. Maybe that's a hard thing for you, a difficult thing for you. Maybe you don't reject people that much because you want to spare their feelings. But you know, if you release people from a place of love, there won't be that much crazy energy, you know. There won't be that much resistance. So be aware that you reject people too all the time, and give your twin flame or whatever relationship, whoever doesn't want to be in your life, give them the space to not be in your life, you know. You can think all about that you want to think. That really doesn't matter. But don't make a romantic fairy tale story, you also have to be a little bit logical about that. You know, maybe this is pissing some people off, or maybe it's giving you some resistance, but I'm saying this, you know, I am saying this from a place of love, because I have seen in the stories I've researched on the internet the past couple of months, I've seen stories of dozens and dozens of women who are waiting, you know, and they are throwing away the best years of their lives because they think they look back at the relationship they had, you know, for that brief moment, or maybe in some cases there wasn't even a relationship, and they hold out for that. But let me ask you this: if that person would never change, would you still be waiting in 5 years or 10 years? You know? And if that answer is yes, and that's totally fulfilling you, well, then I'm fine with it. I can't imagine, but then that's your choice, of course. But it's what... Never fall in love with someone's potential. You know, with my twin flame, I know this. I already knew this. I knew I never it's a mistake to fall in love with someone's potential. So when we were still together, I thought, okay, so if he's never going to change, am I still going to love him in 10 or 20 years? So I thought about everything, you know, and I thought, yeah, I love him right now, just the way he is, you know. But I forgot to... and my instincts were telling me something, but I just couldn't see it because I wasn't energetically aligned with that. But the one thing I wasn't looking at was that he was not emotionally available. He was still in another relationship, although he said he was going to end that relationship, and he did, you know, at least he tried to. But that I never saw that point. I never said to myself, if he is still in that relationship in 5 years, because that's a potential thing. Hi, Amber. That's a potential thing that might potentially happen, but you can't create potential. You know, you can't fall in love with someone's potential. So you have to look at that relationship just as it is, you know, with everything. And then you have to ask yourself, if this would never change, would I still be in this commitment or in this connection or at this place in 5 or 10 years? If the answer is no, yeah, then you really have to let it go. You have to let it go anyways, you know, but then you really have to let it go. And even if you are in a relationship, or you are in a relationship with your soulmate or your twin flame, or, you know, just a regular, just any relationship, it doesn't even matter. You still have to let go of expectations. You still don't... You know, you can't have the illusion that you can change people. Of course, people can change, but they have to do that on their own, you know, not because you need them to change. So, yeah, that's such an important thing. Okay, that can't be a coincidence, Amber, that you were just thinking about this. Okay, so, does the feminine and the masculine experience the connection in the same way? No. You know, feminine are just really romantic. We have a strong connection with our feeling, you know, and that you need to balance that out with being logical also. You know, also be logical about it. Of course, follow your heart, follow your feeling, but don't forget your logical mind, you know. And you know, if it's your twin flame and he mirrors you, or that your twin flame mirrors you, I keep using he, but it's, you know, just don't, just take it however you want to take it. If you are a man and you resonate, or you think you know, just take it as you want to take it. But just for my ease, I will just keep using he and she. So, well, the feminine is more in her heart. She feels it, you know. The masculine is more in his head and being logical about it. So I've read a lot of stories about how the man thinks about it. But what happens a lot of the time is that the feminine, you know, she feels he is the one, you know, she just feels it. And he's not that in tune with his feelings. He's logical about it. And then he thinks, well, but if she says this easy, you know, that I'm the one, and she doesn't even know me, then probably this whole connection is based on some kind of fantasy, you know. So for him that doesn't make sense. So no, he's probably not pining after you the way you are after him, you know. And I did also read some stories that the masculine really did think a lot about his feminine, you know, really wanted it to happen. But yeah, there were just some you know, most of the time there was a relationship. In another story, there was like a big distance and a relationship and a newborn, you know. So that was like a really difficult thing. But he did the work, he did the inner work, he did the alignment, you know. He took the responsibility and for the family he had, and, you know, for his twin flame and for his own alignment, you know. And they found a way to make that work, you know. But the masculine, he has to come there on his own, you know, because what I see a lot in with twin flames, or, you know, in relationships in general and with a lot of women, is we always want to help, you know. But you can't do that, because if you want to save the other person, you are creating an unequal relationship, you know. And that's something we have to get out of. Either your person can get there or your person can't get there, but you need to get there for your own, you know. You need to realign with that relationship that, you know, fulfills you on all levels. I'm not saying completes you, because that can never happen. You can only find a relationship that fulfills you if you complete your own needs. And of course, a person can add to that, but they cannot do that for you. Okay, what are your thoughts about the fact that your frequency is too high for the one that you like? What is your experience in this? Yeah, I have thought about that. And I also shared it in my blog, you know. I do see this sometimes, that after a breakup, or, you know, or not, maybe not even after a breakup, but you grow, your frequency rises, and then you fall out of alignment. That happens, you know. But you don't need to think about that. You need to just keep aligning with your highest frequency and with your soul, and either they get there or they won't get there, you know. I can see that a little bit with my husband. Not that he's on a different frequency, but we haven't been aligned on all levels, you know, all the time. So I'm just keeping that alignment, and either he steps into that or not. I'm not saying that his frequency is lower or something. We just vibrate on a different wavelength, you know. So that's the whole thing. So is it too high? That's maybe, I wouldn't use those word choose. I wouldn't choose those words. I would just say, no, you're not vibrating at the same frequency, you know. So you are not completely in alignment, and that's probably then why something doesn't work, you know. Can alignment come? I think that's really hard. You know, I think people can change. But alignment often is or isn't, you know, and I think we are opening ourselves up for different relationships if we feel we are not content anymore with the amount of alignment that's that is in an existing relationship. We want a higher level of alignment, you know, most of the time, because we are more aligned with our own souls, stepped into our soul's purpose and stuff, and so it's really hard to create a relationship with people that you are not in total alignment with, because that can feel you can experience that as a heavy feeling, because you have to misalign to create that relationship, you know. That's and you can still create relationship, but on a different level, you know. Okay, so do you date other people when you are in separation, or how to realign with soul aligned love? You know, yeah, I would definitely date other people, because it's like I said before, don't have the illusion that someone will come back. You know, you align with your source, you follow your alignment, you do you choose fully for you, you show up for you, and then the universe, and you keep that space, and the universe will bring whoever is going to step into that space, and that can either be your twin flame, but if there is someone else, well, yeah, of course, you know. I think it's pretty limiting if you are only focused on your twin flame. That's limiting, you know, because that's then you are saying, well, this is the only person for me, but and yeah, if you are truly happy with waiting, yeah, but I can't really imagine, you know, because you also do want a relationship, you know, and with waiting for your twin flame, you are saying, I want a relationship that's 100% soul aligned. There are other people who are in alignment with your soul frequency. There are, you know, it's not that because that and you know, and if it's your twin flame, it's your mirror, so you don't have to wait around. Everything you see in your twin flame, you are doing too. So you heal that in yourself, change that in yourself, and then if you are completely healed, you know, if they are your twin flame, then they will show up. If they're, or you know, you don't care anymore because you are in alignment, and if they aren't your twin flame, someone else shows up, you know. So I would never wait, because that's not the purpose, you know, of meeting your twin flame. It's for you to grow. It's not to wait for the romantic relationship. That's not the purpose. And a lot of twin flames don't want to hear this, but then, you know, you will figure that out sooner or later, you know, and you have nothing to lose, you know. You have nothing to lose with healing yourself. Use your twin flame as your mirror, you know. See, I did that too, you know, the last couple of months. Everything I saw in him, I thought, okay, where am I doing this in my own life? And then I would change it. Or what am I thinking that I have judgment around this, or I have an expectation, and I would change that, you know. And everywhere he triggered me, and he didn't really do anything because we weren't in communication, but it was just my thoughts about him or my thoughts about the situation, you know. And yeah, and that became less and less and less and less, and now, yeah, it's just this, you know. It just is. if I am in my head, I still can get the twin flame obsession, but then I know, oh yeah, I'm in my head again, because okay, there it is. So get out of my head, you know, shift to that soul alignment, shift to doing me, shift to, you know, aligning with whatever I want to align, and then it's gone again, you know. And that you will do that so often as that it falls away completely. Okay, so yeah, I answered that one. What if your divine counterpart is in a relationship with someone else? Well, you just give him the freedom to be in a relationship with someone else, you know. I see a lot of twin flames, like their counterpart is in a relationship with someone else, and they think, well, they you know, project a negative energy onto their relationship, but they chose that relationship. They want to be in that relationship. If they wouldn't want to be in that relationship, they would step out of that relationship. So you see a lot of the time then twin flames call it a karmic relationship, and that can be the case, you know, but it's still their relationship. And you know, you have to give them that space. It's now, if you are projecting negative energy onto that relationship, you are only adding to having that relationship there, you know. So if it is your twin flame and you ever want a chance for you two to be together, you have to give him or her the complete freedom to figure that out, you know. And you know, even if the goal of any twin flame relationship is unconditional love, you know, so let people do whatever they want. You can have your boundaries. I always say people can do whatever they want, you know, but not specifically in my life, you know. It's like, for example, I agreeingly, I'm not going to talk about that. No, I'm sorry, that's too personal. I'm not going to talk about it. Not for me, you know, I'm an open book, but I do want to protect his privacy a little bit, you know. So what do you say to other people about this connection? Well, you don't have to say anything, you know. You don't have to live stream about it or blog about it. You don't have to say anything. So it's just like, you know, I do talk about it. I actively choose to talk about it, even though I'm not, you know, I haven't manifested my soul aligned person yet. I'm also at a point that I'm okay, you know. I'm okay either way. It's like I know that person will show up. I don't know exactly from what side, you know. There are a couple of options. But I trust, you know, that if I keep aligning that, and I know what I want now. I'm in a pretty good situation. I got a couple of tests, the last couple of weeks from the universe, because that's what happens, you know. If you start aligning with new things, the universe will send you a couple of things that align with the old energy. So I got 2 or 3 invitations from the universe to step into my old ways, to, you know, connect with people who aren't showing up fully. And I saw it and I said, no, thank you. You know, you are really cute, but you are either, you know, not emotionally available or you are taken. So I just letting that go instantly, you know. So, and normally maybe that would have like, how do you say that? That would have done something with me, but now it was like, yeah, it was no big deal. I know what I want and I'm not settling for anything less than that, because I'm at a really good spot in the sense of I really love myself. I think for the first time in my whole life, I was always really scared to be alone, you know. So that's why my husband and I, we had a couple of moments that we knew we weren't at the same place, but we always step back into the relationship. And because I was scared that, because he is amazing, I know he is going to find someone else, you know. He already dated, he already saw someone, you know, so I know that's going to happen. And then I was always like, yeah, but if he is gone, then I might end up alone, you know. And I don't feel alone anymore, you know. I know even if I don't meet anyone, or, you know, my husband and I don't realign, or my twin flame doesn't come back, you know, and I am alone in the sense of I don't have a relationship, I still have my friends, I still have my business, I still have you guys, you know, I still have my daughter, I have a full life. So, yeah, and yeah, but you know, I'm saying this, but I don't even have a doubt that I will manifest the relationship at the perfect time. So, okay, so the last question about the twin flame thing. If you have any questions, I know we are already been going a long time, but if there are any last questions, are twin flames meant to be together? No, not specifically, you know. Yeah, twin flames work really well in relationships because they are aligned, but their goal is to help the other person get inner union, you know. So, and if that goal is achieved, yeah, the romantic side doesn't really matter, you know. So twin flames can get together, they cannot be together, but if you have inner union, it doesn't matter anyway. So, okay, so I don't see any questions, so I don't know if there are any questions or if you guys are okay. It was a really long live stream. I thought we were going to do this like for an hour, but I had so many questions. Okay, so if you are watching the replay, you have any questions, email them to info@maartjekoper.nl or .com, doesn't matter, works either way. Put them under the live stream. Most of the time I close comments on my YouTube channel under the live stream because there's a lot of shit people put under your YouTube videos, you know. So yeah, well, we're going to do a relationship, manifest your relationship, or manifest your ideal relationships in the Manifest Magically Academy tomorrow, Catherine. So you are a member of that. So we're going to talk about a soul-aligned relationship then more. And I'm going to teach more about it, you know. But this is what I wanted to share for now. I do also want to share more about manifesting soul-aligned love. So I will do that, of course, but all in good time. So, and I know you were here later, so you have lots to look back. Yeah, tomorrow I think 3 o'clock, so Amsterdam time. Okay, so I think we're okay for now. So if you want to learn more about manifesting, I have a free manifesting course on my website, manifestmagically.com, or on my Dutch website, maartjekoper.nl. So you can go there, you can look under free of gratis in het Nederlands. And then you can download that free manifesting course, and it will teach you a lot about manifesting relationships as well. So, okay. Okay, so, but Catherine, any questions you have, put them in the Manifest Magically Academy Facebook group. I will answer them tomorrow, especially for you, okay? So have a nice evening, and I will speak to you soon. Bye bye.